This is ABC15 Mornings.
Thousands of fentanyl pills off Valley streets, making the second biggest bust in a week.
A battle brewing at one Valley school with a dominant football program, why moving out of their current division level has many concerned for safety.
I want to continue along with my teammates to continue his legacy, not only for this year, but as long as we can play the game of basketball that we love, because that's what Kobe Bryant will want.
It was a special tribute for Kobe Bryant at the Lakers game last night. The message from LeBron James honoring the late basketball legend. Of course, it was the first time that team took to the court since Bryant passed away, along with 8 others. It was really emotional tributes. We're going to bring you more of that. But also, they made sure to point out that it was a time of celebration. So we're going to lift you up with that as well. And we say good morning to you on this Saturday. I'm Nohelani Graff.
And I'm Justin Pizzera. If you were looking for a beautiful Saturday, you need the perfect weather to be outside, you're in luck. This is good.
This is going to be the day to get outside all weekend, really. So even if you've got parties for tomorrow for the Super Bowl, it's going to be perfect grilling weather, and it all starts with today. But it is chilly as you step out the door this morning. Definitely still need a jacket or a sweater as you step out the door. We're in the 40s right now. We're going to stay that way for a little longer. No real breezes to speak of, and mostly clear skies. So if you are an early morning runner and you want to head out the door, just be mindful. We will make our way into the 50s by about 9 o'clock, 59 degrees by 10, and then middle of the afternoon, if you run in the middle of the day, it's going to be warmer. So totally different situation. Make sure you are ready to hydrate today. I'm going to talk about just how much warmer we will get for that forecast high coming up in just a little bit.
Overnight, we learned Phoenix police are investigating a double homicide near 28th Street and Chipman Road. That is just south of Broadway. Officials telling us last night they found a man and woman shot dead. They tell us that they do know who the suspect is and that he was taken to the hospital in critical condition with a self-inflicted injury. So far, no motive in this case. A Valley officer finding out that he's free and clear of criminal charges after shooting and killing a 14-year-old last year. The police chief was critical of Officer Hines' actions more than a year ago. Hines did resign before the department and the county attorney could make any decisions. But the Tempe police chief is confident that Hines would have been disciplined for the use of force that took Antonio Arce's life.
Evidence suggests that this tragedy reflected that Joseph Hines' his actions were not aligned with our values. His actions deviated from our training.
Now, as for the Arce family, they are still moving forward with their lawsuit against the city of Tempe and Officer Hines. Their attorney argues the county's reasoning for their decision not to prosecute is not enough. We did try to speak to Officer Hines yesterday, but got no answer when we knocked on his door.
Law enforcement officers in Arizona who are accused of misconduct could have additional protections under a new bill that's sponsored by Senator David Livingston of Peoria. Livingston is working on expanding what's known as the Peace Officers Bill of Rights. Under this, law enforcement agencies are required to give officers the alleged facts and their status in the investigation before interviewing them. Under Senate Bill 1333, agencies would have to notify officers that they're going to be interviewed at least a day in advance. Investigators cannot lie about the evidence that they don't actually have. And if an officer decides to appeal any disciplinary action, hearing officers and appeals boards would be able to subpoena witnesses. Now, supporters of the proposal believe this will ensure that officers have a fair chance. But some community advocacy groups say it would be harder to hold officers accountable.
7 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the United States, and officials are not taking any chances of that deadly disease spreading any further.
And with several airlines canceling flights between the U.S. and China, many in the Valley are being impacted. ABC 15's Cameron Pullum actually spoke to a local educator who is now taking major precautions.
As airlines in the U.S. suspend flights to China, folks like acupuncturist Sammy Rank are already feeling the impacts.
I've been practicing about 16 years.
Rank also teaches at the Phoenix Institute of Herbal Medicine and Acupuncture, opening students' minds to this ancient art of healing.
A couple years ago, I got inspired to start taking students to China because that's the root of our medicine.
For the last few years, the trip took them to Chengdu University for an immersive learning experience offering clinical and cultural tours.
To study in the hospital and just kind of see it in action.
But plans for this year's trip are now in question. Those planning to take the late May visit must have their deposit in next week. And with current travel restrictions, it's unknown if they'll even be able to fly to China by then.
This virus, is now this big thing in the news and everyone's freaking out about it, and the airlines are stopping flying to China from all over the world. And so now we don't know if we can go.
More than 11,000 have been sickened with more than 250 deaths. Rank says the risk of sickness is too much for at least one student already.
They've already had somebody drop off the trip because his wife wouldn't let him go.
She's now faced with a decision, risk paying for the trip now in hopes of getting a refund if the spread isn't contained by summer.
They tend to manage them, so I'm hoping.
And that was Cameron Pullum reporting. Health officials reiterate that they do not believe the risk here is high. So just to kind of put this into perspective for you, the flu last year, way more widespread, 15 million cases in the United States alone and 8,000 deaths.
Developing this morning, an alleged al-Qaeda leader arrested right here in the valley. His name is Ali Youssef Ahmed al-Nouri, and he's already made his initial appearance before a judge. Investigators say the 42-year-old has been wanted for murder in the deaths of 2 Iraqi police officers that happened back in 2006. It's unclear, though, where exactly he was arrested or how long he might have been living here in the valley, but efforts are now underway to extradite him back to Iraq.
A major bust by a local DEA task force, 137,000 fentanyl pills found and taken off the streets of Phoenix. A 20-year-old man arrested after the pills were found in his car. This is the second major fentanyl bust in Phoenix in just the last week and a half. We are getting our first look this morning at the woman police say assaulted a federal officer and broke past 2 security checkpoints at Mar-a-Lago. Secret Service and police said that they were forced to open fire because they weren't sure if she was targeting pedestrians or if she was in possession of a bomb. After taking 30-year-old Hannah Romhild into custody, authorities said that it was not a terrorist incident. They do believe she was intoxicated.
Remembering Kobe Bryant. Did you stay awake and watch this last night? Basketball fans filling Staples Center last night in LA. Nearly every seat in the arena was also draped with a yellow jersey with either the number 8 or 24. Bryant wore both numbers while he was playing for the team, and it was just a stunning display. You can see right there. The Lakers retiring both of those numbers at the end of his career. And then there was LeBron James and his moving speech about his friend Kobe. He gave that before the game, and it is trending online this morning.
This is a celebration of the 20 years of the blood, the sweat, the tears, the broken down body, the getting up, the sitting down, the everything, the countless hours. The determination to be as great as he could be. Tonight, we celebrate the kid that came here at 18 years of age, retired at 38, and became probably the best dad that we've seen over the last 3 years, man.
And you know, he had a pre-written speech and then he crumpled it up and said, "Forget this, I'm speaking from the heart," and he really did. Also at last night's game, 2 courtside seats were reserved to honor Kobe and his daughter Gianna, whose Mamba jersey sat next to her dad's with roses. Friday does mark the Lakers' first game, it did anyway, since Bryant and his daughter died in a helicopter crash Sunday that also killed 7 others who were on board with them. Back here at home last night, the Suns also lighting up the outside of Talking Stick Resort Arena in purple and gold with displays in tribute to Kobe as fans arrived. Inside, a pavilion board tribute along with the numbers 8 and 24 on the east and west boards. That's what you see there. And they also took a 24-second moment of silence before tip-off.
Now to a Valley school with a dominant football program, now putting up a fight to remain in their same conference. Northwest Christian, a highly successful team in the 3A division, is now being moved to a level 4A next season. But the Phoenix school wants to actually remain where they've been, they say, because of player safety concerns. The school now filing a lawsuit against the Arizona Interscholastic Association. The AIA recently established a new conference placement system based in part on a program success. Free dental care for veterans today at the Midwestern University College of Dental Medicine in Glendale. Those who served in the U.S. military can get a free cleaning, x-rays, fillings, a lot more. Service will be provided by students under faculty supervision. You can head to midwestern.edu to register for an appointment.
Have you ever gone up to Havasupai Falls?
I have not. It is on my list.
I think it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's certainly one of the most gorgeous places in Arizona. It's also one of the most highly sought after places to visit. And if you don't act fast, reservations for the Havasupai campgrounds are going to be booked. And you are going to want to stay overnight after you take that hike down there.
Exactly.
You know?
Reservations. It opens up this morning. You got to be on your computers and ready to go by 8 o'clock this morning. Now, only 300 permits are given out for each day. So to better your chances at securing a spot, this is good advice. Make sure that everyone who's going to be in your group that's going to hike down there, they have to create an account ahead of time at havasupaireservations.com. That way, when you get on there, you can just go ahead and get your reservation. So 8 o'clock this morning.
It's the color of the water
I know.
that just is so stunning every time. And then also, if you make those reservations now, you know how much time you have to start training for the hike because it's not a simple one.
I've
but
had
well worth it, I hear.
several friends have done it, and they always
Yeah.
just say it's the hike back up that is just, it's a little tough.
That's a little tough. All right, today, if you want to hike, great day to do it. If you're headed to the Phoenix Open, of course, huge event happening. Wonderful day to be out and about, but it's going to get a little warm, certainly warmer than we've seen in a while too. Take a look at our temperature warm up for this afternoon. We are chilly this morning. We're in the 40s across the valley, and we're going to stay that way through the 8 o'clock hour. By 10, we're in the 60s, and that'll be short lived because by noon we're in the 70s and climbing into the mid and even upper 70s for some valley spots. Even by 6 o'clock tonight, if you're staying for those late rounds or the bird's nest, we're still at 72 degrees by 6. But our forecast high for today, 77 degrees, sunny, clear skies. It is definitely going to look and feel more like spring than winter out there today. So get ready, but then get ready for some big changes. That's coming up in that most accurate forecast. But of course, if you are headed out to TPC, round 3 of the Phoenix Open does get underway today in Scottsdale. So there are leaders already. Tee times, you can find how that all sorts out online. We have a section on our website if you want to check that out. But definitely, it's also going to be packed, so give yourself plenty of time for parking.
Also coming up, we're going to show you new videos showing just how fast those brush fires are exploding in Australia. A shocking video right here showing a brush fire turning an Australian countryside basically into just a big ball of fire in a matter of minutes. Fire crews are seen bracing for a fast-moving brush fire being fueled by strong winds. And in under 4 minutes, that day seemingly turns into night as fire quickly ravages the scene. Authorities say the crew that stayed was safe and protected that property that's just out of view. A fire truck of the future being shown off right here in Phoenix. Our news partners at KTAR getting an up-close look at this all-electric fire truck. It's designed to be more environmentally friendly than those traditional engines. Los Angeles was the first fire department in North America to buy one of these electric trucks. So the third round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open gets underway in just a couple of hours.
5 players are sitting within 3 strokes of each other at the top of the leaderboard. ABC 15's Colin Harmon has more from TPC Scottsdale.
We head into the weekend with day 2 of the Waste Management Phoenix Open, following a similar storyline to round 1, where the leader came from one of the final groups of the day and put together one of the best rounds of the day.
You know, I hit a great 5-iron on the par 5, almost eagled that one, and I hit a great iron on the next hole. Went a little long, but made a great putt, and then tee shot on 17 was fabulous. So that gave me a shorter putt for eagle, and luckily I made it.
JB Holmes' 65 that took him to minus 13 was fueled by a 4-under stretch through the marquee holes of 15, 16, and 17 before he bogeyed his final hole of the day. That brought Thursday's leader Wyndham Clark within a shot after birding his final 2 holes of the round.
It's nice to finish off with
with 2 birdies. I felt like I played really good the last 10, 11 holes, and I just wasn't making any putts. And it feels great to make those 2 at the end. It makes sleeping tonight a little better, and I'm really excited for the weekend.
At the Waste Management Phoenix Open, Colin Harmon, ABC 15 Sports.
Day out there yesterday. Today, even better weather is on the way. So here's what we can expect for your weekend. High pressure is building, so that means we have sunny, dry and warmer conditions. But then another storm is headed our way next week. So all the more reason to really enjoy what we've got cooking for today. Clouds and radar showing us we just have a few high, thin clouds across the northern portion of our state, but clear skies here in the valley. We do have cooler temperatures up to our north, but not as chilly as we've seen as of late. 36 right now in Flagstaff, although it does feel a little colder in the 20s because of the wind chill factor. Prescott just below that freezing mark this morning. We're sitting in the 20s in the Grand Canyon, upper 40s and 50s along our western border, and across southern Arizona we've got 40s. Right here in the valley, we're looking at a temperature right now of 43 degrees in Glendale as well as Peoria. Goodyear a little warmer than that at 46. Some cooler temperatures out in the southeast valley, 40 in Chandler right now, 42 in Queen Creek and Santan Valley, 47 in Cave Creek. Now, here's what's going to happen for Futurecast today, showing us we're going to continue to have clear skies all afternoon statewide. Overnight tonight, a few clouds start to move in from the south, but I think for the most part, we have clear skies for your Sunday as more clouds build in on Monday. Now, if you are headed out to the links today, TPC Scottsdale, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, but you're going to need some layers. In the morning hours, we're chilly, so it's in the 40s right now, 50s by 9, 60s by 11, and then we move into the 70s by 1 o'clock, so you'll be shedding those layers, and then we're rising into the mid to even upper 70s. That bird's nest opens later this afternoon, right around 3:30. So I think it's going to be a gorgeous day out there. If golf is not your thing and you're going to do something else across the valley, get out for a hike. It's going to be gorgeous. Just make sure you have lots of water because the highs today are in the upper 70s in Peoria, 77, same in Surprise, 76 in Levine as well as Chandler, a high of 77 in Mesa and Fountain Hills for today. So absolutely gorgeous. Very similar temperatures to our south, 75 in Tucson, 75 in Casa Grande, little cooler in Safford, 67 there, 60s in Payson, Sedona and Prescott, and then north of the rim, cooler. 55 in Flagstaff, 52 in Heber, 53 is the high in Sholo for today. But again, clear skies, so a gorgeous day. Even if you're in the high country, it'll certainly still feel more seasonal up there. So a high of 77 today, warmer for your Sunday, 78, and then big changes Monday. It's going to be very breezy statewide. Here in the valley, gusts between 20 and 30 miles an hour. Those gusts could get up to 50 miles an hour in the high country. We'll also have rain chances, 20% chance here in the valley, better snow chances up north. And our temperatures plummet big time. 60s on Monday, highs in the 50s Tuesday and Wednesday, with our overnight lows taking us back down into the mid 30s, which means low 30s for some outlying valley cities. So you're going to want to plan ahead for your plants, even if we don't have any freeze warnings. So a roller coaster. We're just getting started, Justin, but today and tomorrow, it's that peak of the roller coaster.
All right, thank you, Nohe. We do want to take you out to Phoenix right now where house fire. This is near 32nd Street and Thomas. You can see all of those firefighters right now working this fire. We are working to get more information from the Phoenix Fire Department if anyone was inside that home at the time and why this fire started, but you can see that home pretty damaged by those flames. Again, this is at 32nd Street and Thomas. A live look for you this morning. Well, trust, it's hard to measure and even harder to come by in the current news environment, though through our National News Literacy Week, ABC15 and the EW Scripps Company, we're committed to sharing the skills you need to become more informed and aware and figure out who to trust. So it is in its yearly Trust Barometer survey, communications firm Edelman asks how credible information would be depending on who says it. Only 36% of people said that they'd trust a journalist. A government official was the only person trusted less. To read more about news literacy, you can head to abc15.com/newsliteracy. The UK has finally left the European Union. Up next, we look at how that could impact us here in the United States. And celebrating 90 years, we're taking a look at some of the valley's history displayed at the Pueblo Museum.
Well, you know, we do have so many visitors here in the Valley this weekend. So in between, if you want to learn a little bit about the Valley, there's a great place where you can learn about the history of our state overall at the Pueblo Grande Museum. So Nicole Armstrong is joining us this morning to tell us more about all of the amazing things that you can discover there. Thanks for waking up with us.
Thank you for having me. So Pueblo Grande Museum is a museum, but also an archaeological site, and we preserve the history and accomplishments of the prehistoric peoples who lived here. They're the ancestors of the Otham people, who are our Native American neighbors at the Salt and Gila River Indian communities. Archaeologists call them the Hohokam. And using just these kinds of tools, they built this extensive canal system across the valley and were able to live here for over 1,000 years and grow their crops. They did not have access to metals, so this is a cobblestone that they've created a groove in, put a haft on. This is an actual artifact, and if you come out to the museum, our fantastic volunteers will tell you all about them. And this, of course, we've added because plant material does not last through the ages. So they dug canals that are, 12 feet wide, 10 feet deep, hundreds of miles with these kind of tools.
Yeah, at least this you can see it's an axe, and
yes.
But to really think about what they've done, what about
this? Is a digging stick, so you have to plant your seeds as well, right? And you can lift this up. This is pretty heavy.
Yeah, this is really heavy.
You could build some muscles lifting those canals, right?
That's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work. These were amazing engineers. So we celebrate what they did out there, and we preserve what they left behind, and we provide all kinds of programming for kids and families.
You guys are celebrating your own milestone, in fact.
Right. This is our 90th anniversary. So the city of Phoenix acquired the land and built the museum in 1929. So we've been here a long time, but of course our ancestors were here much longer.
Yeah.
So your location, you're right by our studio, and right by Sky Harbor. I think people drive by that all the time. You're just kind of tucked away.
We're right at the corner of 44th Street in Washington, and which is right, just off of the Salt River. Right, which is why they were located there.
So when are you open? When can people come?
9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, 1 to 5 on Sundays. We invite people to go to pueblogrande.com to learn about all of our activities. We are part of the SciTech Festival, so we have lunchtime lectures coming up. And in March, on the 14th, we have our Ancient Technology Day, where families can come out and actually learn how to do flint knapping and throw using the atlatl, throw the arrows, and all kinds of activities. So I hope everyone will come out.
Sounds impressive.
Yeah,
we have a lot of fun.
That'd be fun for the kids. So a great gem here in the Valley. Nicole, thank you so much for teaching us more about it. She's told you where you can get more information, so go take advantage, especially if you have visitors in the Valley. We will have more news for you and that forecast for all our visitors coming up on the other side of this break.